بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
What role do veils play for females in public?
Excellent, good question.
What do you think about the criticisms that say that they limit self-expression?
Excellent, that's a good question. So, let me take that in two folds. First thing is, you go to Mesa College, and here you have women that we see here wearing the hijab here. Do you see it to restrict your life? No, right? Anybody forcing you? Your dad got a gun outside? He's like waiting, come out, we'll see you. How about you? You sure? What about, no, you're all good.
Just started like weeks ago to wear the hijab.
Excellent. What's your name? Huh? Rosita? Rosita, do you find that hijab restricts you from life? You can't go outside anymore? You just cry in a corner at home? Right? So no, the point that I'm making is that the hijab, first thing, is not something forced upon women. It's a choice. It is a part of Islam. I'm not saying that a Muslim woman doesn't have to wear it. She does have to wear it. But it's her choice. In the Jewish faith, for example, you also have the concept of hijab, different names, but it is something that has to do with marriage, that they wear after marriage. Has to do with authority of the husband. But in Islam, you don't have that. It's in the Bible as well, right? It wasn't the topic today, but we can discuss that. About, if a woman prays or prophesies without her head covered, then her head should be sworn, which should be shaved. And if she doesn't want to, then let her be covered. In the Bible, New Testament, right? Many Christians do practice that, like the Amish, like Catholic nuns and others. Others don't. That's up to them. In Islam we have it, but the difference between Islam and Judaism and Christianity, as in the Bible it's shown as an authority of man over woman, in Islam it's not. In the Quran, the hijab has to do with to show the honor of a woman, to let her to be known as a pious, as chaste woman. So the hijab is a representation of modesty, and it's a choice of the woman. Are there families that may force their daughters? Maybe. Are there families that force their daughters to get married? Probably. In every culture across the world, right? But that's not Islam. You got to separate what may go on in certain countries and what Islam teaches. Islam teaches that the hijab is a religious practice regarding the modesty. And men have their own laws of dress. You didn't see me come here in Speedos and a marble bag, and trust me, you would have all left. So, men have their own rules of clothing. Women have their own rules of clothing. And we live by them a modest lifestyle. And I'll give you a further clarification on that, right? Are we going to be honest?
Well, I have a question about the full...
I was getting there, relax. I'm getting there, right? But I'm saying, in understanding hijab, in the conversation we're going to have, are we going to be honest?
Of course.
You sure? All right. All right, good. We'll see. All right, let's say you meet somebody, a female, at a after-school party at San Diego State, forget, right? Oh, somebody knows state well, right? And you see her in a very short skirt and small tank top, right? Oh, yeah. See, he's honest, right? Now, honestly, what is the first thing that grabs your attention?
I mean, usually
Yeah?
the skin...
Honest? All right. So you're just going to be like, oh, she doesn't have blemishes on her hand, yay. Let's be, like I said, either we can be hypocritical about the conversation or be honest. If we're honest, every man in here is going to say, you know what, those physical features is where the attention goes. And that's where you begin your judgment. And that's why in Western society, if you look at commercials, if you look at how chewing gum is sold, it's sold through selling the woman's body. You see a lady in a bikini jumping up and down and spearmint gum. You're like, what does that have to do with that, right? You don't see, anyway, point being, that's how it's misused. The hijab takes away from that, right? It takes it where now you have to pay attention to the personality of that person. You're not looking at their bra size, you're not trying to figure out about their six-pack, you are thinking about what they're saying and who they are as a person, and you're judging, you are endearing due to that. And that's the point of the hijab. Now, there are levels of hijab, right? And it is, for example, some who cover their face and hands, some that don't cover the face and hands, they cover the head and body, and that's all between Islamic tradition. But all of that put together doesn't restrict a woman from anything that she needs to do, right? For example, I was in Malaysia recently, and many people there, they wear the little, medical masks for apparently no reason, but they're very worried about germs, and they walk around with that. And that's no different than wearing a niqab. You can still be a doctor, you can still be an engineer. So to think that it's something that restricts them, I don't believe so. And our Muslim sisters don't, and that's why they choose to wear it. It's a Western prejudice that views it that way. Like they see the hijab and they get into some weird fantasy about domination, and they look at it and then they think, oh, she's oppressed, let me go liberate her, and we're good, thanks a lot. So, what was your other question? Was that it?
No, that was.
All right, cool. Thank you. And please, no offense, so ask anything you like. Go ahead.
Along those tangents, you're dressed somewhat modestly.
Thank you.
And I think you're
Thank you.
very handsome.
All right. Please get that on recording. Go ahead.
So how come you're not covered?
So that's a good point. I mean, if you look at me and you look at the sister sitting here, I'm as covered or more as she is, right? Pretty much, right?
How come you don't wear a full covered burqa?
Because as...
Stopping me from having those thoughts.
Okay, so let's take it there. First thing is, we have to understand, in honesty, right? Either we can be hypocritically dishonest or honest. If we're honest, the way men and women react to attraction is different. That's a reality, right? I'll explain. When you go, and again, I'm sorry, I'm going to be blunt and honest, so don't get offended. I'm not getting offended. I hope you guys don't either. If you go downtown, or if you go anywhere else, and you see the number of strip clubs, right? How many Chippendales do you have, and how many female stripping clubs do you have, right?
Unfortunately, it's not balanced.
It's not anywhere in the world, right? Right. But why is that? If you look at the ratio of rape in the world, right? And again, I'm not justifying any of this. I'm explaining something, right? The rape ratio of women raping men or men raping women, where's the ratios, right? No.
Also a lot unreported.
Many men are getting raped and not reporting it? Could be, I guess, right? Right? Now, but if you honestly look at it, there is a difference, right? If you look at, for example, catcalling, or if you look at sexual harassment, the Me Too movement, how many men are being harassed in that way? And really great. But percentage-wise, where are we?
It's unbalanced.
Unbalanced. So human nature is where, unfortunately, men have less control than women do. Women are able to control their attractions better. And it's a strength for women. That's just a fact. We can deny it all day long, right? But it's reality, right? And you have to deal with reality. Is it okay for a man to judge a woman by her physical body instead of her mind? No. But is that a reality you have to deal with? Yes. Understand? When you go in for a part in a movie role, is it okay for that director to try to take advantage of a person because of their, whatever? No. But does that happen? Yes. Do we as a society in the West kind of push it under the rug? Yes. And that's the problem, because we don't want to deal with reality. We want to set up fiction. So, as a man, if I'm dressed like this, and I'm walking down the street, I've never been catcalled. If you do it, I'll be pretty happy about it. Go for it, right? I've never been pinched. I've never been brushed up against and fondled. It never happens. Why? Because fortunately, a strength that women have is that they have better control on it. But as a female, and I'm not going to ask here because I don't want to embarrass anybody, but when you walk down, College Avenue on Saturday night, I guarantee you if you're dressed a certain way, you're going to get catcalled, you're going to get, targeted, and that's a horrible thing. We're not saying it's okay, but you have to deal with that reality. So the level of hijab for a woman is more than that of a man. But we have our own rules. For example, and I'll give you one last example and we'll get off this topic. If I took off my nice thobe, took off my t-shirt, walked around bare-chested, would I be arrested? But if you did, same thing. So that means man and woman's body and its attraction is at different levels. The covering of woman is different from a man. And that's the same in hijab. But each has its own laws.
آمنت أن الآخرة لا بد يوما آتية كل الخلائق حاضرة كل السرائر بادية آمنت أن الآخرة لا بد يوما آتية كل الخلائق حاضرة كل السرائر بادية